Good morning. Today we are going to cover the factors affecting price elasticity of demand. To make a refreshment for your mind, what is meant by price elasticity of demand? It means the percentage change in quantity demanded as a result of a percentage change in prices. So there would be an action in price, and there is a reaction in quantity demanded. And there is a negative relation between price and QD. So if price increases, QD would decrease without any negotiation. So today we are going to look forward what are the factors that affects price elasticity of demand. If there is a substitute, I would be able to move or transfer my consumption from one good that has increasing in its prices to another good with a lower prices. So the first factor is the number of close substitutes. The more close substitutes there are in the market, the more elastic is demand, because I have to switch. Easily can convert from one good, for example, X, to another good Y. Tea and coffee, or different types of tea like Lipton, El Arosa, El Gawhara, whatever the type of the product. So here's an example. Air travel and train travel are weak substitutes for what? For intercontinental flights. I could not shift from aeroplane to a train in traveling for large places or large kilometers. But of course, within my country, it's good substitutes, even though using trains or aeroplanes, they are close substitutes. The second factor, the cost of switching between products. There may be costs or extra costs. If I want to change from one good to another good, I might pay an extra cost. That's why I won't be able to, or this is decrease the substitute of one good to another good, because this good I might be stuck with an extra cost. So I won't be able to change or shift if there is a change in price for certain product. The degree of necessity, or whether the good is a luxury. We have covered this before. If the good is a luxury good, it's not important in my life. So what about elasticity in this situation? It will be elastic. But if the good is a necessary good, I won't be able to change, or I won't be able to leave it or decrease the amount of consumption for this good. Number 3, the proportion of consumers' income allocated to spending on the good. Products that take up a high percentage of income will have a more elastic demand. If I pay most of my income at a certain good, it will be elastic for me. I won't be able to bear any more increase in prices. So if there is a huge percentage spent on a certain product, an extra increasing in its cost, I would prefer to leave it at all. Number 5, the time period allowed following a price change. Demand is more price elastic the longer the consumer have to respond to price change. They have more time to search for cheaper substitutes and switch their spending. Of course, if I have enough time, I would be able to look for substitutes and look for the cheapest one, and I'm very flexible, or I'm very elastic at this. 6, whether the good is subject to habitual consumption. Consumers become less sensitive to the price of the good if they buy something out of a habit. It has become the default choice. If I'm used to do something or used to consume a certain good, I won't be able to change it. It's something that corresponds to my personality or my habits, so I won't change it. The movement from or transfer from this product to another product is not easy. Number 7, peak and off-peak demand. Demand is price inelastic at peak times because you don't have enough time to change or varieties, but you are more elastic at off-peak times. 8, the breadth of definition of a good or service. If a good is broadly defined, the demand for petrol or meat. For example, if I'm searching for the demand for petrol or meat as general, demand here is inelastic. But if I'm searching for specific brands of petrol or beef, it would be more elastic, because I'm talking about a certain product that has lots of substitutes. But petrol at all, or at general, I don't have a substitute for petrol. Meat also. Application using PED rule. Again, let's remember what was the rule. It's written in front of your eyes on this slide. PED equals percentage change in QD as a result. It means divided by percentage change in price. You might have some examples like these with different numbers, of course. For in your exam, you are going to find what is the reaction and think about what is the reaction. So you have to compare between the action and the reaction, and then you would know, or you would find what is the type of elasticity. If the price increased by 20%, what do we have here? Price increase. So this is the action, a change by 20% increasing. And what is the reaction? The reaction is a decrease in quantity demanded by 10%. Let's apply the rule minus 10% because it decreases in quantity, and plus 20% as increase in prices. Divide them, and then I would find a half, which is less than, of course, I'm looking for the absolute value. I'm looking for the absolute value because the negative sign, it means a negative relation. Before calculating, you might find it by your eyes. Here the reaction is 10%. According to the action, 20%. So the reaction is less than the action, so it is inelastic demand. Number 2, price decreased by 20% and quantity demanded increased by 30%. Where is the action? 20% decrease. Where is the reaction? The reaction is 30% increase. So before calculating, I can recognize that the reaction is higher than the action, so it's an elastic demand. Elastic demand. Let's apply 30 over 20. 1.5 more than elastic is more than 1, so it's elastic demand. Number 3, if price increased by 20% and quantity demanded decreased by 20%, PED equals 1, because we have two different positions or directions, two different directions, but with the same ratio, so it's a unitary elastic. If price increased by 20% and quantity demanded decreased by 0, where is the action? 20%. Where is the reaction is 0. So before calculating, I would find that 0 is PED. Let's remember, perfect inelastic demand equals 0. So this is the case of medicine and salt, as you remember. Number 5, if price increased by 1% and quantity demanded decreased to 0. So let's see this story. If this seller increased the price by 1%, the reaction of quantity demanded would decrease to 0. So this is a big or huge reaction. And then, so because it's a very big or very huge reaction, so it's perfect elastic demand with a horizontal curve, horizontal demand curve. If price decreased by 1%, if this seller wants to decrease the price by 1%, what would happen to the quantity demanded? It would increase by a huge amount to infinity. So this is also perfect elastic demand. And we will refresh your mind. It is the horizontal curve, perfect competition market, homogeneous good like petrol or newspaper. Thank you.